Hey, peace world. Thanks for I messed that all up. I had I had something different planned to go off as I started, but it didn't happen. Uh Rusty, ring rust. Haven't been on in a couple of weeks. We had a few down weeks in boxing, relatively speaking. And I went to some edited videos, some short edited videos for to recap some of the action versus doing the live thing. Kind of lost my rhythm a little bit. But anyway, we're here today. Had to jump in on a for the occasion, the coronation of an undisputed champion in the Tartan Tornado from Scotland. Josh Taylor defeats Mexican American Jose Ramirez, who was previously undefeated, held the WBC and the WBO junior welterweight title fight. I mean, titles. Couldn't bring this back to where I wanted to start. So let me see. Let me see if I can let this play and catch back up to it. Looking at Kenny Bayless messed this first knockdown up. Actually, the second one was kind of took away from the fight, the excitement of the fight. Damn, try to catch it again. I'm on the Top Rank Instagram page, so that's where some of this audio is coming from. I'll get into a couple of quotes, and we'll chop it up a little bit. Phone line will be open if anybody wants to call in and weigh in on what they saw. Let me get ready for this. Come on in. Yeah, I don't know what the hell Kenny Bayless was doing. Hey, we're banging in here though. Here we go. So here's what I wanted to. It's not gonna cooperate with me. I don't know how I'm gonna pull that up. Anyway, let's jump into it. Obviously, when you accomplish something such as becoming undisputed at any division, I definitely have to. I mean, there's no secret whatsoever what the or who the bite down boxing fighter of the weekend is. Although, great win for Chicago's Kenneth Bossman Sims Jr. With the upset over the Dominican Republic's Elvis Rodriguez, who was 10-0-1 coming in, 11-0-1 coming into last night's fight. Having had his first decision out last time out, I think that was on the Burchelt and Valdez undercard. So things look a lot better or a lot brighter. Future looks a lot brighter for Boss Man today. So shout out to him. But again, defeating Elvis Rodriguez is not going to eclipse what Taylor did in a unanimous, a narrow one, a unanimous decision to become over Jose Ramirez to become undisputed at junior welterweight. So let's just start with the main event. I don't know how long I'm gonna be on here. I know Sunday mornings, it's tricky. People got stuff going on, a variety of different things and whatnot. I got some stuff to do right after this. So, like I said, I'm not gonna try to drag this out really. The fight kind of played out the way that I expected it to. I just thought Josh Taylor was the better fighter. He gets the 114, what was it, 114, 112 decision. The major differences being the two knockdowns in rounds 6 and 7. I don't really know what was going on again with Kenny Bayless. He wasn't sharp last night. I thought he gave Ramirez some extra seconds both times, but we'll get to that in just a second. the start of the fight. Yeah. I didn't score the fight round by round. I did do recaps of the fight as well as the Rodriguez and Sims Jr. fights. Those are in the description. I'd appreciate it 3,000% if you checked out the links, visited the website. I can always use that traffic over there, so appreciate that. Support small businesses, so small independent outlets, if you will. I'd appreciate that a lot. So yeah, I thought these guys were pretty evenly matched in a lot of ways, but I did edge the level of talent, maybe the upside to the Scotsman. And I noted earlier in the week, I was going with him for the victory because of his toughness, his versatility. I can't really put a thumb on what the hell Josh Taylor was special about him. But I mean, the record that he's. What's up, Latoris, man? If you want to call in real quick, man, I can throw the number up if you want to weigh in on anything. I was just talking about I know you might have some stuff going on, but you can I'll throw the number in if you want to help me liven things up a little bit, bring in some standing 8 live flavor to it. But yeah, I thought I really don't know what Taylor does that's spectacular. I just thought he fights better than to sum it up. I just think he fights better than Ramirez. It was a little disappointing not to see Ramirez really be able to add any different layers, any different wrinkles, any different looks to his game. It was just attack, aggression. Get inside, hooks to the. It was all pretty straightforward. And Taylor is he's not that simple of a dude to beat in that manner. And that's why, I mean, if you look at Prograis, the fight with Prograis, I got you. I'm a hostage right now. No problem. Appreciate you being on here. I'm just going to bump my gums for a minute before I go out here and wrap up this yard work. My wife on me about this damn trimming stuff. Taylor had a yeah. It's all pretty, and that's when boxing is really the fighters at the elite level who can keep it really simple. That's always a great formula for you to get victories when you can keep it simple. He's got a good chin. I felt like he was comfortable in all situations, which is what I saw coming out of the Regis Prograis fight. The only thing that we had to add, the only questions that I really had to ask was, does he travel? Could he travel well? But he had a certain excitement and eagerness to travel to where going into this fight, that really didn't even become a question. But I thought Ramirez got off to the start that he wanted to get out to. But, Taylor was looking to keep his space a little bit. Like I said, he was looking to have exits. Everything that Ramirez went to do, Taylor had a solution for it. He was either able to step around, he was able to clinch, he pushed him, he would countering, he jabbed here and there. You saw early in the fight he was flashing the jab to kind of break up Ramirez's his lunges inside, or him working his way inside. He just did little subtle stuff that a good fighter can do. And then once he did get his timing down, did get the timing down and had a good read on Ramirez, that's when he landed the counter left hand that dropped him in round 6. And then I loved in round 7 when they showed the replay of the knockout. I love when he had his chin on Ramirez's shoulder, and you could see him plotting what he was getting ready to do with the uppercut. Like, as soon as I get this little bit of space, I'm throwing this punch regardless. And I can't even sit here and say that Bayless, when he slapped the glove away from Ramirez, I see some people complaining that that Bayless gave Ramirez the thought that it was a break. Nah, he wasn't in there long enough, and I don't think there was any communication that. Damn, this man is beating up his golf bag. He is pissed. He didn't give him any indication that the fight was stopping, or that there was a halt in the action. So I didn't see anything illegal with that. I thought it was that's boxing. But shout out to Ramirez getting up both times. I really wouldn't have thought that he would have been dropped by single punches. I thought it would have been more, something out of, a combination or something. But that was the difference in the fight. I could say that I didn't care for the way Taylor finished up the last 3 to 4 rounds. Maybe he wins one of those rounds. One thing I didn't understand, I guess maybe I understand. Ward, I'm a big Ward fan, and I dig Ward's commentary, but he says something in like the 9th or 10th round that the knockdowns, those types of knockdowns, took everything out of Ramirez. And I think he might have cleaned it up by saying that they weren't flash knockdowns, but everybody watching the fight, we knew that those weren't flash knockdowns. But I'm like, what knockdown doesn't take something out of a fighter? When he got knocked down against Kovalev, that took something out of him momentarily. He was able to put things together, recover, and get back on his game or change up his game. But when do you get dropped in that manner and it doesn't take something out of you? But I thought for several of those rounds, Taylor kind of went to the feints. He kind of looked to set up, his power shots. But when you throw it out there that you're going to stop a dude, and we know he did a lot of gamesmanship earlier in fight week, but when you put it out there that you're going to stop a guy, and then you get the 2 drops, the 2 knockdowns that you got, I mean, I am expecting you to finish the guy off. So the few times that it was like that Ramirez was standing there in front of him, he was squared up, he really wasn't throwing punches or really wasn't doing anything to threaten Taylor in any way. I was a little pissed off that Taylor didn't take advantage of those moments. With the jab or with going to the body, go to the body to bring the hands down all the way and then go back up top. I really didn't like that the fight ended the way that it ended. And then we get the 114, 112 scorecards, and you kind of it's easy to come away with it like, well, if you don't have those 2 knockdowns, it's an even fight. But I don't really think it was an even fight. But it's easy to think that way because of the way that Taylor finished the fight. Now, he came into this thing needing to defeat the stigma of, a European fighter. He did all of that easily. But again, I think the stoppage would have really, I mean, I think that was his 4th fight in the United States. But you're always auditioning for whatever's next. And so I think it shut down. I think they shut down kind of quickly because they went to the NBA playoff game. But I was finishing up my articles and whatnot. I don't really think that there was any kind of connection or any talk of a fight with Crawford or Teofimo Lopez. I don't even think they got into any of that. And I didn't look at none of the post-fight coverage. But I just thought it was a chance to make a real statement by stopping the guy. And whatever direction that they choose to go in, it was a way for him to leave a lasting impression on U.S. fans. I know the Catterall fight is out there. I did see where Catterall tweeted something or posted something about Edinburgh, Castle, and whatnot. Let's get it together. I mean, Catterall is pretty solid, but and he has the WBO mandatory, so I mean he is owed that fight. I don't really care where they have that one, but I would imagine that whatever the next really big thing for Josh Taylor is, I would imagine that it happens over here in the States. Unless I guess I can't even see that being worked out because I think Bud Crawford would probably be done with Top Rank before they put that together. Who knows how they, what they do next for either one of those guys. But and I don't, I would like to see the situation with Lopez isn't looking good. The relationship between Top Rank and Lopez. Oh, they went over to ESPN Plus. He didn't mention. Yeah, that's what I thought. I kind of was looking at. I kind of was peering over to it every once in a while, but yeah, I didn't hear any names really come up. He was just kind of talking about just general stuff, and I like that he walked it back. And that's what threw me off with my prediction for the week. I said Taylor from the beginning, and I was riding with Taylor, but you looked at some of the antics and some of the theatrics that happened in fight week. A lot of people wanted to go with the dude talking the loudest, Virgil Ortiz. Ooh, Virgil Ortiz versus Taylor. I never was a fan of Ortiz going up to welterweight as quick as he did. I really wasn't. I really felt like, there was more opportunity or the business was simpler at junior welterweight. Why not stay there and try to get into the championship picture? But I mean, again, it's Golden Boy and Top Rank, but they have worked together. But that would be an excellent fight. That would be that might be my favorite matchup for him, honestly. It's just with Ortiz up at welterweight, I don't see any way for it to happen. But I think that would be a damn good fight. Yeah, that would be a damn good fight. I like that one. But yeah, man, I just thought it was a little anticlimactic for the last 3 or 4 rounds to play out that way. And we really don't see any finishing sequence. After a good physical fight early with guys throwing, vicious punches, ripping each other to the body, the uppercuts that were being thrown and landed. After seeing all of that action earlier in the fight, for the last third of the fight, to not have the same level of violence. I mean, it is a fight. It was a little, I don't know. It didn't do the magnitude of the fight justice, in my opinion. But, it'll be interesting to see what they do next for Jose Ramirez. Well, I don't think he got a lot done in the second half of the fight. Getting up the way that he did, fighting on, just fighting off sure will and determination, showing the heart of a champion and whatnot. You can't write the guy off. I just think, he's one of those guys. He is what he is. He could still be in some entertaining fights, some good fights and whatnot. But he just kind of is what he is. And if matched properly, he can, like I said, there can be some interesting matchups for him. Just have to wait and see what happens, how he bounces back. But like I said, man, I thought it was a good fight. Getting ready to get into this undercard. I don't think the undercard really helped like the buzz for boxing or, for casual boxing fans to really understand why us boxing heads were so we were so focused on this fight, or we had the attention level for this fight that we had. I don't know if the undercard really helped it out. Going to Jose Zepeda and Hank Lundy, I gave up on that fight. The last 2 or 3 rounds, I was with Ward who called. Yeah, I think he could ask for a rematch. And if they went over to Scotland or the UK somewhere and did it, I think it would play pretty well. It's just it's that I can't put a word on it or a label on it. It's just something missing with Jose Ramirez's game. It's very A to B. Not a whole lot of creativity. It's just like I'm gonna create everything by will. And against a guy like like you mentioned, with Taylor's chin, his recovery, his confidence, he just kind of slows his opponents down. He kind of takes away whatever they want to do by constantly adapting to whatever they're doing. Even when he caught some good body shots, or it was a couple of shots to the head that I thought affected him a little bit, his poker face is solid. Like I said, he just doesn't panic. It's very hard to read him, to know when he is hurt, when he is bothered. There was, I think, at the end of the third round, because I think it was in the fourth round when he kind of rallied back after Ramirez had a good round and kind of had some extended periods where he was getting to him. I saw a little bit of frustration on his face. I think him and Davison talked through some things, and he had to come out and really reassert himself differently. So he did show some signs of adjusting straight up and down. Yeah, just a lesser Margarito. That's a good call. See, if you wasn't hostage right now, you could get in here and do your thing and get all this off. But yeah, it's something. When you look at the world class fighters, it's just something that he's missing, in my opinion. And at this stage of his career, I don't really see him adding it. But again, there are several matchups that you can make with Jose Ramirez. If a rematch wasn't one of them, there's several things that you could do with him and still have some good events or main events and whatnot. But back to Zepeda and Lundy as the co-main event. Zepeda coming off of the exciting fight with Baranchik, 8 knockdowns or whatever, 5th round stoppage or whatever, knockout of the year candidate, and so on and so forth. I just don't know how you go. What was it? 10 rounds? Was it 10 rounds? Yeah, you go 10 rounds with Hank Lundy. Lundy is doing his thing, throwing some looping shots here and there, and taunting him a little bit. But shout out to Hank though, man. Just a quick aside. It's probably 3 or 4 years, maybe 4 years ago now. Right when I started covering boxing and going to live events and whatnot, Hank Lundy fought at this family fun center in Cincinnati, Ohio. The promoter was a younger fighter that had like this. He was running some kind of scam. It's basically some scam, gym without walls type situation, where he was getting some people in Cincinnati to show up and doing boot camps or something. His wife was involved in it. But I didn't see anything on this cat that suggested that he had the money, the finances to be able to pay for a card. But somehow or another, man, he hustled this shit together and had maybe 5 or 6 fights on the card. But in the main event was Hank Lundy. It was this I think it was the UBC title was something that they were fighting for. But John Delperdang was the opponent. And the promoter calls me and was like, hey man, the promoter had fought here at this card that they had in Dayton at the convention center. And that's when I met him. And actually he was training another fighter, and me and him started talking. somehow or another, when this fight comes up nowhere. It was like on Christmas. It was the week before Christmas or something. It was very weird. But the dude calls me up and is like, yeah, man, I got this title fight. It's down in Cincinnati. Hank Lundy is and John Delperdang is in the main event. And yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, man, you pulling my leg. But I'm like, I'll come down. You know, hell, if you're going to invite me down and make the effort to and thought enough of me to include me. Actually, the video that I have of me interviewing Hank Lundy, like as the main video on my page, that was that fight. It's still kind of the little pay me no mind main video or teaser video or trailer, whatever the hell you want to call it. So anyway, I go down there to watch this fight, to watch this card, and I'm shocked when I show up and Hank Lundy and his team are even walking in. This family fun center had a hockey rink in there. It had a rope course. It had bungee shit. It was a little bit of everything. An arcade room. I was like, man, what is this shit? But like I said, when I get in and start and go to check in, Team Lundy is right there. So I'm like, well, shit, I guess it's happening. Somewhere after the first 2 or 3 fights, there's an issue with the money, which was what I was like, how is he paying? Who's paying for this shit? And the word was like, Hank's not coming out to fight. I don't blame him because I know damn well he didn't get $30,000 or $20,000 or $15,000 for that fight. This is why I don't really joke about boxing. This is why I'm pretty straightforward with when I'm talking about boxing. This is why I don't fuck with the memes and the knockdown of Metcalf last night. I can see that being, I can see some people running with that knockdown. The Javier Martinez, I think it's Javier Martinez from Milwaukee. I could see people laughing at that. Go ahead. But this is why I don't joke about this stuff. But anyway, they go back there and at this time, Adrian Broner and like his team and some of his friends, his inner circle, they show up ringside. It's maybe 150 fans in there. We didn't know what was gonna happen. Somehow or another, you know, Hank Lundy was like, "Man, I'm gonna fight." So, you know, I'm excited. I'm like, okay, cool. That's what I came down here for. It's dope that it's happening. But anyway, man, they went in there. They fought 12 rounds, I believe. It was a good scrap and everything. But again, here's a dude who fought on ESPN multiple times, had been in there with all the names that he'd been in there for. And here he is at Christmas time at some ice skating rink in Cincinnati, Ohio, and went out there and fought this kid, John Delperdang, who I don't think he's been too active lately, but he went out there and fought and put on a show for the 150, 200 people that were there. And he didn't have to. He really could have said, the hell with this bullshit, the hell with this UBF belt. You know, life ain't that bad for me that I gotta resort to this type of shit. And he went out there and fought. It was a good fight. Delperdang put up a pretty good effort. The UBF commissioner, the Jose Suleiman of the UBF came in the ring afterwards and, you know, put this title on Hank Lundy, and Hank Lundy acted like it was a WBC title. I mean, it was a weird moment. It was a weird moment. But like I said, I got to get a dude credit, man. He did not have to do that fight. I know there were some issues after the fact about the money. Again, we look at so much boxing through the big names, Mayweather, shit going on with Spence, the situation with Welter and Bob Arum and Fury and all of that. So many of us look at the sport through that lens and only focus on that level. But it's fights every weekend, damn near across the country, across the world, where somebody might be getting screwed out of something. So I always will kind of, at least respect Hank Lundy and a lot of these fighters. What's up, Corey Evans, man? Good morning. Ramirez fell into all the traps, I think. Fought inside more. Taylor got skills, though, and a chin. Corey know more than Washington football team stuff. That sums it up perfect, bro. Yeah. I mean, Ramirez was going to be the yeoman, the workman dude in the matchup. And, once Taylor had him figured out, it was pretty academic. He just couldn't recover from the two knockdowns in round 6 and 7. He obviously couldn't recover from that to mount, another like really fierce rally in the last third of the fight. And it was what it was. But yeah, Zepeda, he didn't do much for himself in that fight against Lundy. Lundy took the fight on 3 weeks' notice. Ward and Bradley were speaking on Lundy's legs. I didn't think they were as bad as they said they were, but who am I to question what those two former world champions saw versus what I saw? Anyway, the fight really took the wind out of the sails, in my opinion, for the event. Getting into the opener of the ESPN portion of the card, Elvis Rodriguez and Kenneth Sims Jr. It's one of those good moments in boxing, man, where Sims isn't a power puncher. I want to see something real quick. I mentioned something the other day, and I didn't go back and confirm it. Yeah. So Sims and Montana Love fought in July of 2018 to a split draw. And then there was also the fight with Samuel Tia and Sims Jr., which was kind of where it looked like things were stalling out for him. He actually lost the decision to Tia. And then, like I said, the fight with him and Montana Love, which was a showbox card, it just wasn't a good look for him. But he was talking earlier in the week that, he switched over to, he had been working with Kei Karama for several years, and there was a relationship there. But this was the first time that Karama was moving into really being, the main voice that he was following. And he really made the Southpaw, the undefeated Southpaw look really basic. He took control. He maintained control of the center of the ring the entire time. He never took any steps back. He seemed to be able to read everything. And that's, Rodriguez was throwing one punch at a time, jab, left hand, very few combination punches. It really wasn't into that 7th round. I think he opened up really trying to get inside, plant his feet, and really just rock Sims with a right hook. He threw a bunch of right hooks, trying to punch through Sims's guard. But shout out to Sims, because whenever he did get hit with a good shot, he either rolled with it or he got back outside and regrouped, reset, or really just he was able to stand up to everything that he hit him with, and just didn't give him anything that would encourage Rodriguez. Funny thing for Freddie Roach is here's a second youngster in a row. We thought that Alberto, what's up, DA out in Phoenix? We really thought that Alberto Machado was gonna be something. And once he got once a few guys stood up to his power in Cancio, Machado went away very quickly as a promising. He was a champion too, but things unfolded for him quickly. And here it is. Elvis appears to be very one-dimensional. And the cat that he just fought, I think his name was Veron. Veron came in and boxed him all night and didn't go down when he got hit, and really just kind of showed. And Elvis, coming into fight week during the press conference Tuesday, he was talking about he had a short camp, this and that, and that's why he didn't stop Veron. But he's actually just he might be a little limited as a boxer. If Sims had any real power, he could have been in trouble. But he just undressed Rodriguez, didn't let him get off too much. That amateur reputation and all of everything that Sims Jr. did in the Emmys, he lived up to it. It was something else I was looking at. But that was his debut fight, coming over from the Showtime, the Showbox series, now popping up on Top Rank. What did they fight this at? Super lightweight. So it's tons of fights out there for Kenneth Sims Jr. coming off of that victory right there. Top Rank has a whole host of 140-pound guys. So he's in a great situation for him in terms of steady work over the next year and a half or whatever, so long as he doesn't have a bad loss. I mean, Josue Vargas is there, who fought a few weeks ago against the Willie Shaw kid. We got Julian Rodriguez and Pedraza fight in a couple of weeks. It's a ton of 1-4. Zepeda, or who else was that? Maybe if Baranchik comes back, I mean, that would be an excellent really a way for Kenneth Sims to take a step forward if he was to go in there against a guy like Baranchik and get a victory against him, a former world champion or something. So it's a good move career-wise for Sims to be over there on Top Rank, where there's a lot of work for that division. Other than that, looking at the rest of this undercard, let me get some of my notes out. I know this is the stuff that not everybody likes. I said earlier in the week I was looking forward to what Luis Correa did. The dude is always in exciting fights. He caught the bad decision against Jose Enrique Vivas. That was a damn good fight, though, man. I mean, 8 rounds of action. Correa, I thought, could have been outside boxing a little bit more. I hate to see this guy take all the damn punishment that he takes. And that's only 17 fights for him, man. But he stays inside a lot. He has a hell of a chin on him. But I mean, if you fight like this, every fight can't be life and death. And the fight, and he got robbed against Robesi. He dropped Robesi a couple of times. Why is it not logging me in? Anyway, I just like Correa. He had a good fight against Adam Lopez. He's a tough. He's good TV, but he got robbed after. Damn. Yeah, 2 knockdowns of Vivas in the third round. There was some thinking that you could even stop that fight against Vivas. I mean, he was hurt badly in the third round, showed some signs of still being hurt in the fourth. He was deducted the 1 point, for the low blow and whatnot. And the dude still comes back and gets the victory, 75-74 on all 3 cards. I don't know who the hell Correa has pissed off, but I thought he should have got that one. But again, at the second half of the fight, he could have done a lot for himself to box more, move a lot more. Vivas, very basic. Just get close, get his head in your chest, and just swing away. And like they mentioned last night, there's more to defense. Your legs are an important part of your defense. You don't have to be there for those shots, but He chose to. Maybe he was going back to, maybe he was thinking of trying to close the fight out himself and not being satisfied with a decision. But he definitely could have fought the 6th, 7th, and 8th round. And I think Garcia even told him that, like, use your legs, man. You already put the fight away. You don't have to be in there taking this type of risk, taking this type of beating, taking this type of punishment. But that dude just might be built like that. But it cost him. So we'll see what's next for Corey. Pretty exciting fighter, but his record is taking a hit with these tough fights and these unfortunate decisions. Anyway, who else was on there? The Raymond Muratalla cat. I like him. I got off my the bout sheet. Yeah, Muratalla. That's super lightweight. That would be a good fight between another good option for Kenneth Sims Jr. I wouldn't do it if I was Raymond Muratalla. I would go in a different direction. Not because he couldn't win or anything, but I just think, as excited as Bradley was about Muratalla, and if you've seen him fight on a couple of the cards, I think he has a good future ahead of him. That just wouldn't be a fight that I would try to go into unless it was some kind of eliminator of some kind or whatever. But there are other options out there that I think you could go with Muratalla to showcase him a little bit more, develop him a little bit more, and let him establish, build a good career. But him and Jose Gallegos, who was 20-10 out of Chicago, Gallegos had a hell of a chin on him. I mean, he was getting hit with bombs. The body attack was nasty. The uppercuts, hooks. Muratalla, like they mentioned, his brother is a teacher and has been on a couple of cards, but Muratalla is definitely the more no plan B type of the two. Like, he seems to be all boxing and is a pretty offensively talented cat. So I want to see more from him. He was able to do everything in the fight. I mean, he showed you combination punching. He had the feints. He was able to set stuff up. I like the combinations that he put together. Showed you some angles in round 3 when he stepped aside and landed a left hook to the body. He hit him with a head body left hook, 2-punch combination. He was doing it all against Gallegos. But Gallegos was still there in the 4th round. I just had that Gallegos was competing. He was like not trying to go out, this being his one opportunity on Top Rank on ESPN. He was there to make the most of it. But Muratalla just was the more talented fighter, able to put his punches together better, just better schooled offensively, and is the fighter of the two that's going somewhere. But again, Gallegos came and earned his check. I mean, damn, he for all 5 rounds until it was stopped. The dude was just tough as hell. Stopped at the 122 mark in round 5. Robisi Ramirez against Ryan Allen. Ramirez, lost his first fight, as we all know, 2-time, I think, Olympic gold medalist from Cuba. I don't know, man. What can I add that Andre Ward didn't add? Just not a lot of consistent punching. Not setting up everything with the jab. Not a lot of volume on offense. He was having some success early on with with some of the looping shots and showing that he was the classier of the two guys. Ryan Allen, these guys have been sparring partners in the past and whatnot, so a lot of familiarity there. Allen was dropped in round 2. With Ramirez not throwing a whole lot of punches, not using his jab a whole lot, and not throwing punches in bunches. Allen gradually did get some confidence and started to come forward and do some things of his own. But it was just kind of ho-hum fight. I mean, Ramirez improved to 7-1, 59-54, and then 60-53 on 2 cards. What's my other note here? In the opener. Yeah, in the opener, I think the first fight was Milwaukee's Javier Martinez against Calvin Metcalf. Metcalf is a durable guy. I've seen him a couple of times. I mean, you can't forget the hairstyle and whatnot. I thought that was a pretty funny moment, honestly, by the commentating team, Osuna. Osuna and Bradley have a pretty decent rapport on air, in my opinion. I thought Osuna was doing a pretty solid job last night in handling the undercard. I know sometimes we get to talking about the on-air people, but I thought Osuna had a couple of good ones. But yeah, Javier Martinez, Calvin Metcalf was a middleweight fight. It was crazy because Osuna was just saying that Martinez didn't have any power, or his shots weren't having any effect on Metcalf. And as soon as he said, that's, sometimes jumping out there with statements on some of these fighters is setting yourself up to be embarrassed. We all know about Chris Mannix and Anthony Joshua, that he's a controlled killer or something he called him after the knockdown against Andy Ruiz. I mean, you can say some stuff sometimes, and in the next breath, totally have to eat your words. It'll happen. But that was the first time that Calvin Metcalf was stopped. He's out of Kansas City, Missouri. He dropped to 10-6-1. Quantavious Cash was the last fighter and Shane Mosley Jr. are 2 people that he fought in the past. So I mean, it's a good look for Javier Martinez, to go 4-0 by stopping him. It was a hell of a right hook. Not Martinez, but Metcalf is awkward. Like I just mentioned, takes a pretty good shot, but he was there for it. And when Martinez caught him on the temple with the right hook, I mean, it immediately, you could see he was going through problems on the way down to the canvas. And once he was down there, I mean, he was knocked out, eyes rolling in the back of his head. Looked like he was still trying to get up to continue fighting. And it almost reminded me of those the crunches with the cycling, with your legs in the cycling motion. It almost looked like that. I mean, he was down there going through some stuff, but hell of a knockout. See what happens next for Martinez, who also is in the Robert Garcia Boxing Academy. It was kind of a showcase for those dudes last night. The other fight on the card was Andres Cortez against Eduardo Garza. I lost interest in that one too. I don't really have nothing to say on that one. I think Andres Cortez is a pretty good boxer, has a lot of skills and whatnot, and confident fighter, knows his way around the ring and can do it all. Improved to 14-0 with the victory. One of the cards was 77-75. The other 2, I think, were wider, but that fight just was what it was. So anyway, that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, the main card, the main ESPN card, the opener and the opener fight, with Sims getting upset against Rodriguez was pretty decent. No problem with that one. But Hank Lundy, when these guys, these older guys, the veterans, when they come in on 3 weeks notice, being out of the ring for months and months and months, you don't know if those guys, the obvious thing is to think that they're in there for a check. And, Lundy tried. He tried. But Zepeda, I thought it was a wasted opportunity, especially with the undisputed bout being the next bout. and you want to throw your hat in the ring for the right, the challenge for those belts, I thought it was a wasted opportunity for him. But Lundy is a crafty dude. The knockdown was waved off. I did think that was a legit knockdown. I don't think they showed a lot of replays of that moment, but I did think it was a knockdown. So anyway, I appreciate everybody that checked in with me today. Like I said, I had been off for a couple of weeks or a few weeks. Just kind of did some shorter clips and whatnot. But with last night's big fight, definitely wanted to jump back on and do what I do. Anyway, let me get on out of here, man. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Bite down boxing, don't let them count you out. Pay me no mind, sports and entertainment. You don't have to be great to start, but you have to start to be great.